he got the creeper back.
Mm-hmm. It was only out for like a day, I think.
Yeah, I got a very limited. It hit Netflix pretty early, and
Was
it was
on Netflix.
It was free. I think I remember it was free on Netflix, and I didn't even bother watching it.
I know that they were gonna have like a big premiere, like with this and like a double feature of the first one, and they just decided not to because of all the controversy, obviously.
Yeah, and look, I understand some of the stuff. It's like, no, he was super guilty.
Yeah, big time.
That's kind of like a heinous crime. I understand why people are like, no.
Yeah.
It's weird that it took so long for that to happen. But also, I feel bad for fans of the series who don't know that and wanted to see these characters continue. Because it's disappointing. It's disappointing now. But yeah, I didn't bother with this one.
I saw it in theaters.
You did?
Went to the theater?
You got to see it in theaters?
Yeah, there was like a whole group of us who they only showed it for one day. And we saw.
I can't believe you went.
Yeah, I drove like an hour and a half to go see it.
Get out.
Yeah.
Was the trailer out at that point?
I don't think the trailer was out, but I remember.
Okay, I was gonna say if I saw the
I didn't
trailer,
look at anything. I was like, I love Jeepers Creepers. I know this is probably gonna be bad, but like I'm holding out hope.
But was the theater packed?
It was packed.
It was okay,
Yeah,
so that's why they
packed.
did the one night because they knew.
And this movie does have hardcore, like that axe from Trick or Treat Studios from 2020. It's got hardcore fans. Actually, that axe might be the one in these movies because it doesn't look as good as the other one.
I was thinking about because there's this person who has the creeper truck, and he now goes to conventions with Jonathan Breck.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I think that's what I would get signed.
Yeah,
that's cool as hell.
I will say one issue with the second one, it kind of missed, like, we liked the truck and stuff, and it kind of went all in on the bat stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I can
I'm
see
like,
that,
okay, but the truck was like kind of like the
Very
big selling
true.
point of that because it was creepy and whatnot. Now that you know what the monster is, they kind of just went nuts with it.
Yeah, I didn't even notice the truck was gone though, to be honest.
Neither did I. Didn't even think about it until just now,
just now.
actually.
But yeah, I didn't want to, and not even for the Victor Salva stuff. I just watched the trailer and I went, nah, I'm good. I'm good. But you guys both told me that it wasn't very good.
Yeah.
When did you see this?
I saw this in 2020.
Okay.
Because everything was closed in 2020. So
Yeah.
for my birthday, I decided to just order cookies from different places and have a marathon of all these movies. And yeah, we could put that picture here. It was a great birthday though. Like I enjoyed it.
You did spoil one thing for me.
I did?
Yeah. You let me know that it was a you kept saying prequel, but it's more of an interquel.
I did say that?
Yeah. You gave me a heads up on that.
I told you that?
Yeah.
Are you sure it was me?
Yeah, because I asked
I would
about
never
her.
spoil
I think I
something.
asked about her coming back, and then you let me know that it was like before too.
Oh.
That's fine.
I'm so
Casey,
sorry.
it doesn't matter.
I don't think he's losing
change.
sleep over
It didn't change anything,
Yeah.
to be honest. I'm gonna read this one.
Okay, after you read, before you read that, could I tell you the first line of my notes?
Yes.
A lot to unpack here.
Yes. They There's I just pulled up the cover, but it's in another language. So I need to find a different cover. Hold on. As I look for a DVD that's in English,
That's
how was
crazy.
the theater experience? What was the crowd like?
The crowd was going crazy, actually, like yelling and like people
Angry?
had t-shirts. No, like just having fun, like fucking
Yeah.
around.
Where was it?
It was in Ithaca, New York.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oof. Okay.
Oof.
I'm just thinking of taking the trip up there to see this piece
Yeah.
of shit. On the last day of the Creepers' 23-day feeding frenzy. It's not, but okay.
Yeah.
Skeptical Sergeant Tubbs, who was a character from the very end of the first one, teams up with a task force hell-bent on destroying the Creeper for good. The Creeper fights back in gory glory as its enemies grow closer than ever before to learning the secret of its dark origins.
Gory glory.
Gory glory.
That is some nice verbiage
good.
right there.
Meg Foster's in the movie, and no one else you know.
That's
Who's
it is-
that?
Yeah, who is
The
that?
grandmother with the very
She's
piercing.
so
Oh,
scary.
It's funny. Like her career is really funny because like she was like in like the 80s and stuff, super attractive, had those piercing eyes, and now she looks later on she ended up
just
looking
looks
really
like-
scary, but
yeah.
still has the piercing eyes.
Just looks
There's
like
a part-
every woman I've ever seen at a 7-Eleven buying like Pall Mall cigarettes.
Yeah.
There's a part in the movie where the boy's like, "Is that your grandma?" And she's just like, "Ah," just like digging up something. You'll know later.
Yeah. So I watched this movie. What were your first Actually, since you watched it, how did you when you finished Jeepers Creepers 3? What was your reaction?
Tony, I was so confused the entire movie. I honestly there was a jumble in my head. Like I'm like, I don't understand this. There's so
Yeah.
much going on, and in the very beginning of the movie, though, I was like, this looks great. What was I saying before? Like, this looks really good. Whoever directed this did great with the material they were presented. And then I'm like, oh,
It was Victor Salva.
I didn't know it was him.
And it had the same cinematographer from the first two. Definitely a lower budget,
Yeah,
though.
much lower.
Much
budget.
lower budget.
Gotcha.
And 20 years of wear and tear.
Yeah, and obviously, like, for, like, the first half of the movie, I'm like, all right, they're trying. But I have issue with later on. I'm like, yeah.
It drops off
yeah.
big time.
So, I think it begins with a flashback to the previous 23 years. Prom night, where the guy is on the way to his prom because he's got the little flower
Yes.
thing.
Yeah.
And he sees someone get attacked, and then it's kind of left on a cliffhanger there what happened to him. We know what happened to him.
But he was not the prom date that they're talking about in the first one.
Because, there's no, like, date.
Girl.
Yeah.
Well, I
There's
thought
no
he was
date.
going to the prom.
No.
I
Oh.
suppose
Pick
he
her
could
up.
be
Yes.
going. Yeah, but then, like, how would the creeper know that that was his date?
Or did he, hold on. Did he find the hand, bury it at his house, and then go to the
You know what?
No.
Maybe.
No.
Well, now I'm confused. Now I am confused. I thought it was
when
that
I
guy.
heard, because I was like, what does the grandmother have to do with this? And when they mentioned that, I'm like, oh, and then I'm like, but wait, he was taken alone. And in the first movie, they said that they never found their bodies.
Maybe he killed more than one prom student. It's possible.
Yeah, it might be that, but why even include that?
Look, there were a bunch of nice young men dressed up, very stud-like, and the creeper was like, "These are my guys. I got to eat their parts. Let's do this. Let's do this."
That is a good point.
But yeah, then it flashes to right after Jeepers Creepers 1, and Sergeant Tubbs there to make it look like it was 2001 when it is clearly not 2001. They put a very obvious hairpiece on him. Like
I just thought they dyed his hair.
No.
It's a hair. If you look at what he
unnatural.
And I'm
It's
just
insane.
like, they should have just put a hat on him for this movie. Also, it looks like it's been, because it looks like it's been 16, 17 years. I'm like, this doesn't look like he's in 2001 anymore.
Right.
I'm sorry.
And they're showing more of the gadgets of the truck.
Yeah, so what I'm thinking is they couldn't do like a lot of crazy creeper stuff, maybe. Because the makeup effects, it takes a lot of time. They're on a budget. They're like, what if the creeper's truck has gadgets in it?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, that could explain some things. That the creeper's truck is a monster.
Yeah,
in
and I
itself.
guess it's to like also
Yeah.
compete, although a little late, compete with like the Saw stuff. Like, maybe it has death traps.
I do think all of the creeper sequences are awesome.
They're a little too brightly. He looks weird.
He's
He
a
looks
little
very
more
clean
dry
cut now.
in this movie.
Yeah.
He is very
Yeah.
dry. That does look. It's always weird in like these monster movies. Like the more dry they get, the more fake they look.
Yeah.
Like the Alien movies, like when they get the AVP, the first one, where they're all like just like super dry, and like that's just a man in a rubber suit. That's what I'm
Yeah.
thinking.
And he said that of course it didn't take much longer for the putting the effects on him for this one. It was like 3 hours, whereas like the first few movies were like 7 hours.
Well, you notice in this one,
Interesting.
he never loses his clothes in this one. The previous one, they
Yeah.
figure out a way to get him like out of his clothes to flex his
Yeah.
wings. But then when they saw what the wings look like in this one, they're like, let's not use them. They still use them too much, but they're like, let's keep his jacket on and everything.
Yeah, he's got that red shirt.
Oh yeah, he does have a red
Did
shirt.
he have a red
Yeah.
shirt in
The
the other
entire
ones, or is it just more noticeable in this?
Is there
one?
an Easter egg that we're missing with this red shirt? Like, was there a
Maybe.
kid with a red shirt on the bus?
I
or
don't
something?
know.
Or this
know,
was
'cause it's
before
the bus.
Yeah. So in the
That's so
first movie,
confusing.
Yeah.
God damn it.
So apparently the creeper really likes his truck, and he'll do anything to get it. Just like let it go, buddy. I don't think anyone I know I missed the truck in the second one, but I'm just like, okay.
I did like when the
creeper
creeper
is risking
like,
a lot to get this thing.
I did like that sequence though,
where he gets the truck.
When he gets the truck back.
Oh, it was
and he
awesome.
Fucking Teen Wolf rides it down.
He's
the road.
ghost riding.
Best.
He's ghost riding the whip. Remember that craze?
I completely agree. That was the. That's when I was like, wow, whoever directed this did a really good job.
Yeah, I enjoyed that section.
I had one
was
question
good.
though about the traps.
Okay.
The blades that came down. Were they like kaleidoscope retractable? Because they look like solid blades. And I'm like, where are they coming from? That makes no sense.
We can't ask these questions.
It's magic, Tony.
Oh,
Okay.
it's magic.
Yeah.
It's a
Magic.
magic blade.
He's a magician now. Okay.
I love the harpoon that just shoots and almost kills the cop. But yeah, how did you guys feel about the creeper squad that hunts the creeper?
Where were they in the first movie?
They were busy.
Oh, of course, with the other creepers.
Well,
That's
you know,
right.
they mentioned the church. I think they might have went to the church that night.
And
yeah.
that's who said it was on fire.
Maybe.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
Who's
That's
this actor? Who's the actor?
Oh,
from Monster Squad.
yeah.
He is from Monster Squad.
Yeah,
isn't
he's
he?
from Monster
Stan,
Squad. In
wow.
our Monster Squad episode, I tell you he's in Jeepers Creepers.
that might have been where
Hooray.
you spoiled it for me.
Maybe.
Stan Shaw.
Well, Stan Shaw
Yeah.
has a many monologues in this movie, and I'm like, can you please just shut the everything? When I saw him the first time, I'm like, when?
Yeah,
How do you have a
when you
backstory
see
too?
him
Can we
for the
see
first
that
time.
movie more than this one?
Yes. There is so much going on. I can't follow. I just can't.
Oh
We
my.
still don't even know about the prom date.
Yeah, we still don't know about the prom date. Well, the prom date, again, we have psychics and mediums in this franchise.
Of course. Yep.
The grandmother, who is the mother of the prom date, she's getting visions from this guy while all this is going on. So the
Yeah.
cops are hunting for the creeper. The creeper squad is hunting for the creeper. And then there's a subplot about a sad grandmother and a granddaughter
Yes.
who might need to sell the farm.
Right, and she's having visions of the son, who is
Yep.
probably one of the worst actors, I'm sorry, I've ever seen.
Oh, so bad.
And then
Yeah.
later, guess what?
What?
There's a scene of him shirtless, and I'm like, that's why. That's why he's in this
there you
movie.
go.
Yes.
There you go.
That's why.
Like, that's why they cast him. He is trim. Like,
He is.
really shredded, but still.
I did like, yeah, I like that he's just yelling.
He's so mean.
He's like, you gotta get out of the farm. I buried something here. You gotta get out. And then she's screaming back at him. And I do love that, like, the girl just looks out her
she's looking
window.
through
And
the
she's
window.
like, rah, 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 just a nothing.
Classic.
I don't know why, but it's reminding me of Tenacious D with Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Where in his mind, he's
In
hanging
the
out with
trip,
Bigfoot
yeah.
and, like, the candy farce. And then in real life, he's just talking to trees.
Talking to
and
trees,
shit.
yeah, and bushes and stuff. Classic.
Oh, I've been karaokeing the shit out of
Tell
that
ya.
soundtrack. Anyway, so yeah, the creeper wants to find his arm, but he's also eating people because it's 23 days. He hunts some bikers, which was reminding me of Pumpkinhead a little bit, with the asshole dirt bikers.
Yeah.
And he like tortures them. He gets the one guy in the leg.
And the harpoon like GPSs.
Yeah,
him
the
around
harpoon is
tree.
like a GPS.
Yeah.
And then he's got a harpoon that GPSs, but he also has a magic spear.
Oh yeah, that just comes out.
So this
Yeah.
came out, by the way, this came out after like the Thor movie. So now the creeper can just summon his weapons like Thor. And then he throws his spear, which is also a harpoon.
Like, what was Victor Salva thinking? Sorry.
I
What
don't-
was he thinking?
Did he write this?
Yes,
he
wrote it
this.
too.
Wow.
This was not his original idea. I think he wanted to do like the whole thing with Trish and the psychic and maybe even follow up on the 23 years later thing. But for whatever reason, it evolved into this. And look, if you don't have the budget to pull off some sequences, you should probably rewrite your script a little bit. Because they were trying to do a little too much. And like,
Yes, I think he felt like, okay, this is the last time I'm going to direct this movie. It's
Let's just
my
go
last
all out.
chance.
Let's
Let
go
me just
all
put
out.
everything in here, but it was not
his
well done.
wings have never looked worse. They're tiny,
Yeah,
by
they
the
are
way.
tiny. Yeah.
They are very, and they're digital. You can make them big.
They do look worse.
They are.
They're gonna. It's gonna come up. You'll see.
And then when he like plucks the one dirt biker and flies into the air, I'm like, that is not as cool. That's the other thing. They're trying to imitate like the previous movies, like scares and stuff. And I'm like, yeah,
Gotcha.
but it's a quarter of the budget, buddy. It doesn't look as good at all.
Yeah.
Come up with some new stuff. A lot of that first movie, you didn't have wings.
Yeah,
they
that's
had
right.
Plenty of creepy visuals with just him standing in a coat. You don't need the fucking monster wings We don't need to see it. And like, it's not even like Jeepers Creepers 2 where he's in the daylight, but it's like harsh sun.
Right.
So you can't get a good look at him. Here, it's just, he's just out.
Yeah, he's out in the
lighting,
open.
and I'm like, it doesn't look like a mon. It just looks like a man in makeup now.
Yeah, and these dirt bike riders, they're not the people. You don't like them.
They are the
like-
They're the worst.
type of people.
Yeah.
I wanted to like rip my eyes out just watching them
Like
interact.
Justin Long?
Yes, of
Give them
course.
to the creeper.
But, oh, by the way, so apparently now, like, the beating you truck is now a local legend. They're like, be eating you. We know about that
Oh,
truck.
yes, they mentioned that.
And it's like, no one ever mentioned that in the other ones.
No.
And then the guy starts singing the song, and I'm like, well, wasn't that song specific for Justin Long's character? I don't know. They're really trying to remind you of the other two movies.
Yeah.
It's like,
That are
well,
so good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You should be watching those instead.
yeah, you know, I don't think we needed a Jeepers Creepers 3.
Yeah, so he gets the one kid,
Yeah.
puts him in the truck,
Yeah.
and then the grandmother's niece, I guess?
No, granddaughter.
Granddaughter.
You're like the grandmother's
She-
niece? Grandmother's niece.
She needs to go find hay for her horse.
Yeah.
She can't afford it. So she
Yeah.
kind of shacks up with the guy.
Yeah.
who
Freckleface?
also, yes, Freckleface.
Yeah,
Who
some-
was, I think he was in the Scream TV series. He's in some other
he
horror
might have
movie.
been.
I can't remember.
Yep.
So then he gets her. Sorry.
What?
Then he gets her.
Oh, yes, he grabs her. He grabs her.
Yes,
That was
and
a...
that scene was cool.
Yeah, you know what pisses me off
Yeah.
about that scene? I'll tell you what.
Okay.
I have a bone to pick with this scene.
Yes.
Okay.
It's like this movie is very like 1950s vibe with all the 1950s cars.
Yeah.
And then they have the flip phone, and I'm like, well, which era are you
Well,
trying
no, it
to
is
go
2001. But, I mean, the first movie, she's driving an old-ass car.
That's
In the
true.
first movie.
Right.
But no, I did like the flip phones because it had to remind you it was
For? Yeah, of
2001.
course. Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone should have had a fuzzy bucket hat.
Yeah.
And
I
there
didn't
is-
see any
Jenko
frosted
jeans,
tips.
No frosted tips.
There was a controversial line in the movie. It was because they're like, why does she live with her grandmother? And
Yeah.
it's because of like the stepdad or something.
Yeah.
And then the Freckleface's brother is like, yeah, well, who wouldn't like want to like her or something? I'm like,
Victor, you want to cut that line? You want to
Exactly.
cut that line, Victor? Just want to cut that line?
it was cut from some screenings, I
Okay.
think, but on the DVD it's there because it was definitely in the cut I watched.
Yeah.
Whoa, yeah, it was definitely not in the cut that I watched.
Yeah, so you watched the sci-fi one.
Yeah.
Victor,
Whoa.
cut the line. But surprisingly, Francis Ford Coppola didn't produce this one.
Wow, really? You
Yeah,
don't say.
I'm guessing after the internet and it got too big of a story, Coppola was like, you know what? I think I'll distance
Yeah.
myself.
I like my
Now,
PR.
over 10 years later, it's like, okay, it took you a really long time, buddy. Yeah, but what's the company that did this one? It's like Screen?
It's Screen Media.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
And I had to take a double take.
One word off. I was like, I don't
What the
remember
hell?
this.
yeah. Screen Media.
Yeah, Screen Media. It's not MGM. MGM's not putting this
Wow,
baby out.
yeah.
Yeah. that scene where he kidnaps the girl, it's almost good.
Yeah.
I do like the reveal that it's like, where is everyone? And then like you slowly realize they're all under like the trucks and
Yeah.
everything.
Right.
I do like that it's from the car's point of view. Not as good as Jurassic Park, but I like scenes like that where like you're in a structure and the things outside. They went a little overboard with him throwing the truck with one arm because
Yeah.
it didn't. I was like, okay, the truck flipping too looks so good because it's practical and everything, and this is TV budget CGI truck flip. It doesn't look as good.
It's so bad. Like when it happens in the background, it's
Yeah.
awful.
yeah, but I do like him like licking the window and all that.
All those callbacks. That's good.
Yeah.
stuff,
And it's the
yeah.
same guy, the same creeper.
Yes, he came back for it, and fans like him. Apparently, he's like Joe was telling me he met him, and he was like a really cool dude.
I want to meet him.
Yeah. So yeah, he ends up taking her for some reason. I do like that the asshole bike guy. It's like the whole truck is booby trapped. Don't try anything. I'm gonna put my head in front of this very obvious hole, and it just shoots this
Yep.
spike in his head. And I do like when the creeper comes back. And he's like, he's got a body. He's like, what the hell?
Yeah.
I wasn't dead. But again, like the part I liked about 2 is that he had Derry's eyes from the first one, but then this one kind of ruins it because he gets caught in his own trap, which by the way, his eye bubbling up.
yeah.
I'm like, what the hell? This looks like a cartoon.
Yeah.
This looks like
it
they
did.
took like
Does
the
look pretty
warp
bad.
effect and they're like,
Yeah.
ah!
It does look pretty bad.
It does.
Although it did lead to a funny scene where he's trying to like use the spear and he's like trying to aim. He's like, he's,
Yeah.
like,
Oh,
switching
yeah. That's
eyes.
true. Yeah.
He's still doing a good job. He's doing his best.
Yeah.
He's doing
I
his
think he did
best.
fantastic. Yeah. I really
Yeah.
enjoy him still in this movie.
Yeah.
But then it leads to like this big finale on the road, which is mostly green screened, and you can see
Right.
the green bleeding
And
through
the
on
hair.
people's hair.
Yep, I saw that.
know. And on one of the trucks, the license plate is "Be killing you."
I saw that. I'm like, okay,
That is so funny. I didn't realize
be
that.
killing you,
And at this point, what's that guy's name again? The actor from Monster Squad.
Stan Shaw.
He looks like he's dressed in like the creeper's outfit.
He does.
Just saying.
They
He's like
kind of
in the
mimic him a
same
little
outfit.
bit. He's like
Yeah.
the reverse.
Have we gotten to the part where they leave the sign yet?
Oh yeah, no, that was before this. What? Okay. We forgot. Sorry. There's so many subplots in
yeah,
this movie.
there is
You
way
have
too
no
much.
idea.
There's
Yeah.
the subplot of the creeper's previous hand.
Yeah.
And if you touch it,
Talk to me.
It'll
It's exactly
it's like talk to me.
Yeah.
Wow, did talk to me rip this off?
Yeah.
If you touch it, it will tell you what its origin is.
Mhm.
But no one will ever say what the origin is. And
Right.
it'll maybe tell you how to kill him, but no one will ever say how it gets
Infuriates
killed.
me. It absolutely.
And they have to take
infuriates
turns like touching the hand because it make you float in the air and
It
stuff.
is. Talk to
your
me.
Eyes go back.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's so weird. So yeah, they have that, and then the mom, like, you're right, she like writes a note for him.
Can I please tell you the first
Yes.
time I saw this,
Yes.
watching this with my sister on my birthday, because his reaction reading this sign. Okay, so he sees the sign. First of all, why are you writing a sign to the creeper? Why? Like, why? It says, "We know what you are," and then he goes like this.
It's so
And all
bad.
we're saying is this. Please put this over the clip if you can.
Okay.
I can't. Wait, I can't even do it as a straight face. I can't read. Because it exactly looks like what he's thinking. I can't read.
Dude, that brings so much comedy to that scene.
And I
now.
feel like even at this point there was something wrong with his eye, so he really can't read it.
Yeah,
Wow.
he's like real upset that they know what he is. And
Yeah,
so, like,
and the hand is there, and he
Yeah.
crushes it, and just has a total bitch
like,
fit. I'm sorry, excuse my language.
Oh, it's
and then they
so
CGI
bad.
his mandibles because they know if they do a close up, they couldn't
Yeah.
build that
Yep.
puppet anymore. So they're like, put it far away and CGI it. Okay. That was the most ridiculous scene. I'm like, am I supposed to feel bad for the creeper? What's happening here?
I kind of did at that point.
Yeah,
Because
for
what
sure.
if he really is like he was a person and now he's this whatever gargoyle thing?
Well, then he wouldn't be like
No, I
winking
know.
and finger guns. I don't know. If I'm like a tragic beast, I'd be like, I wouldn't be like, hey, buddy. Ah.
Maybe he gets caught up in the thirst, man.
Yeah.
He gets lost in the sauce.
It's like some vampires, they get too into it and then later on they regret when they were
Yes.
younger vampires. Is that what we're supposed to take from
That's
that?
exactly it.
Possibly.
So then we get to the green screen finale. Green screen palooza. Again, I would have
Palooza.
rewritten all of this when I realized what the budget was. So yeah, they're awkwardly green screen in the car. I do like that they're shooting the car and it just ricochets directly back.
Yep.
These two are giving great performances though.
They
They're
are.
giving
Yeah, I
it
agree.
their all.
I wish everything around them didn't look like shit
Yeah.
because they are really trying to act. And
Yes.
who would have thought Sergeant Tubbs would become such a big character?
Yeah, exactly.
Especially
Yeah,
17
exactly.
years later when he's very older.
Yeah.
Even though it's been a day.
If you don't watch them in order, you would never remember.
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
And then the creeper shooting like bombs out like it's Mario Kart. That
Yeah.
was weird.
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry, the digital explosion on the road.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like that's on par with an explosion that I can do.
Yeah.
Okay, and then I do like that they finally get the Gatling gun and how it just like backfires. Just the guy shooting and he
Yeah.
just murders himself.
Dude, oh my god. Brutal.
And then we get to the whole like showdown between him and the creeper, and this was a little confusing.
Uh-huh.
So the creeper jumps up in the air with his wings and his axe, and he's moving in slow motion.
Yep.
But then Stan Shaw's moving regular speed,
Uh-huh.
like moving, trying to fix the gun. But I'm like, Wait, so is the creeper just purposely moving really slow? What the fuck is this? And he just kind of hovers in the air for a long time. Like, what is this ending? And it doesn't work. He slices his head.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so he won't return for this sequel or another movie, just like the Monster Squad.
Yeah.
That's sad.
He won't come
I was sadder when he died in the Monster Squad.
Me
He was
too.
better in the Monster Squad.
His
try.
monologues in this movie.
Yeah.
So many.
But yeah, then I guess he just gets away, right?
Yeah, he just flies off, man.
He just flies off.
And then the kid gets on the bus.
That was the funny. So when you
And,
let me know that this was a prequel, interquel, I was like, how is this going to tie into 2? Or is it going to end on the farm? What's it going to do? And then he's like, hey, baby, I like you now. And then that girl's just like, I've been half asleep this whole movie.
Yep.
Because that girl was pretty, but yeah, she seemed like she was just sleepwalking through this role. I mean, granted, it is Jeepers Creepers 3. How excited could you get?
It's true.
But yeah, he puts his sports coat on. He's like, time to get on the Jeepers Creepers 2
Yeah,
bus.
they go to the sports game.
He makes a note about how he
Whatever
was,
sport it is.
yeah, I think he makes a point to say he was going to stay at someone's house an extra day. And I think that explains why he's not on the bus in the second one.
Thank you. Because I'm like, okay, so this could have been a great whatever
Yeah.
intertwining of movies, but he's not even in the second movie. He's not even someone on the bus.
I think he has a line saying that, like, wherever they're driving to, he has, like, an aunt and uncle that he was going to stay with.
What? Who cares? Why even intertwine it then? Why? Okay, and also we forgot in the beginning, there's another narrator.
Yes.
Another narrator.
Yep.
Okay. So we're getting on this bus, which is a few days after Derry's death.
Yes.
Okay. And then what happens?
And then she reads the end of Jeepers Creepers 2, which I guess is Jeepers Creepers 3 now. And then it's her basically writing her memoirs. She's now in her 40s. And she's like, and I'm gonna be waiting for him.
Looking in the camera.
Looking right in the
directly in
camera.
the
I'm like,
camera.
is he standing in the room? Like,
You didn't say who it is though.
it's Gina Phillips.
Gina
Yeah.
Phillips,
Trish.
baby.
Like,
From the first movie.
I don't know why
Coming
she's
back.
like, she should be like, by the way, I'm writing this from the barn where the thing is hung up.
is she?
No, she should be.
Yeah.
That would make more
Yes.
sense.
Or why even tell us anything?
Yeah, that's
What is
a
she
good
even
point.
writing?
Why didn't Ray Wise
Yeah,
just-
why is she writing a fucking memoir?
Is it a memoir or is it a newspaper? I don't know.
I don't know what she's writing, to be a live
She's
journal.
not writing anything.
Is
She's
it a live
typing on a typewriter because this movie loves 1950s. for
No,
some
she's
reason.
on a
Is it a
computer.
type-
She's
Oh,
on
is it a
she's on
computer? Okay.
I don't know why Ray Wise, getting back to 2, I don't know why Ray Wise didn't just like chop the creeper's body up and put it in cement
I would have just
and shipped
burned
it off different places.
That's
I think he was just wanted to kill it. I think he was ready to do it himself, which I would have loved to see.
Well, the best way to kill it is when it's asleep and
Yeah.
can't fight back.
throw it in an
But you
incinerator.
Huh?
So, I don't know.
I like your idea though. Cut it up, put it in cement, and ship it off,
Ship it off. It'll take forever for it to get back together.
or put it at the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah, it's a stupid ending. I don't even know why this needed to be like. Does this make 2 better? Does it explain? Not
Is
really.
it just like legit, just fan service?
Like,
at that
imagine if
point?
you watch this chronologically. If you binge them, and it's like you watch Jeepers Creepers 1, 3, and 2, it's like, wow, this is one big story where it gets real shit in the middle
Yeah.
and looks terrible, and then it gets kind of okay at the end.
And this was when I noticed that Derry was wearing that yellow shirt that was the same as this varsity jacket. or whatever.
Okay, yeah.
So I'm still confused.
I think they mentioned he lives in like whatever town they were going to.
Okay.
Yeah, it's obviously we have 2 big Jeepers Creepers fans here, and this movie didn't do it for him.
I'm frustrated.
I
It wasn't worth the wait.
No, but can't get any worse, right?
And then this was it this year or last year?
Last year.
2022, yeah.
Yeah, 2022. A new movie came out.
Really? What was that new movie, Tony?
Jeepers Creepers Reborn.
Oh,